Hey everyone, welcome to another great episode of the Smooth Business Growth Podcast, where we share 15 minutes of fast-paced, pure marketing strategies proven to move the needle in your business. So I'm your host and captain, Lyndsay Phillips. I'm the founder of Smooth Sailing Business Growth, where we help busy entrepreneurs attract and convert customers faster through powerful and consistent content marketing. In fact, if you go to smoothbusinessgrowth.com, you can download your social media roadmap to help you do just that. So folks, we've spoken to other business owners in the, pay-per-click and Facebook ad space. But what caught my attention to today's guest, Jacob Baadsgaard, is that he grew his business, Disruptive Advertising, to over 120 employees and $18 million in revenue since 2012. Crazy, right? And if that wasn't impressive enough, Jacob is a regular contributor on sites like Forbes and Entrepreneur and Unbounce and KissMetrics. So I'm super stoked to tap into his experience on growing a team to spur business growth and make more of an impact. So let's set sail. Welcome aboard, Jacob.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So I love your story of starting your business in a basement, which I'm sure many can relate to. For me, it was my living room or kitchen, to an income 500 company, which is impressive. And there's so many hurdles and plateaus in a business. What was the biggest one for you?
I think so many challenges, right? I think the biggest one to unlocking growth potential for the business was learning how to move past founder-based selling. I think was the key to being able to take things to the next level.
And what do you mean by founder-based selling?
So I've always enjoyed marketing and sales, and I'm good at it. And so really my business was me, and how much could I amplify myself in terms of the amount of accounts I could sell and service and fulfill and do all of those things. But at some point, there's just no more time in the day.
Totally.
And it's surprising how much you can fit in one day, but you still run into that limit. And the things that I found I could offload and strategically assign to other people were more operational, fulfilling, communications, some more of the technical components. Where I found that it was the trickiest was actually replacing myself from a sales standpoint, right? Because, I've got a good close rate. I know how to understand.
It's your baby. You understand it all, right? From start to finish.
Exactly. And so making that transition was tricky and, but needed. Yeah.
So what were the first steps that you took to kind of spur that change or get that going?
So I took a couple of missteps to begin with.
Who doesn't?
I think I was, anytime I look for a silver bullet, I would like to believe that I've learned my lesson. I don't know that I have yet, but anytime I think that it's the silver bullet solution, it's like I'm setting myself up for failure.
Yeah.
Right? And so my first couple of attempts at it were to just hire seasoned, experienced, and expensive salespeople to come in and just, hey, you just take care of this. You say you're good at this. Now you just do it. And I didn't set myself or them up for success.
Right.
Because I didn't take the time to make sure they understood how we did it to help them be successful. Just kind of had high expectations and ambiguous directions on how to go about doing it. Tried that a couple of times, didn't work out. And then really the key was, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to invest long-term. And it's kind of scary. Because you put all this time into developing someone and then it doesn't work out. Man, that's a little scary. But hired two people, and one of them was still in college. One of them was a little bit more experienced. And I just closed like their first 20 deals for them, right? And I gave them a full commission on it. And we just did everything together. And they listened to how I did it. Right. And then they started to do it themselves. And then they looped me in when they got stuck. And then over time, it took over a year, right? But then I had people that were actually just as good, if not even sometimes better at selling it than I was. And especially according to my team, because sometimes when a customer signs up with a founder, they just have an expectation that's a little harder to meet than more realistic expectations that they might derive from us, from someone on the sales team. And so it was good all around, and it just took a lot of time and effort. And that inexperienced kid out of college is now my head of sales and leading a team of like 12 to 13 people now.
Sweet.
So it's great.
I think part of it is like giving up that control and realizing that someone else can do it just the same as you or even better. I think as a business owner, you just sort of feel like no one else can do it except for you.
Yeah, it's easy to feel that way. And the reality is typically we can do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not the case, but it's, what do you want? If I say yes to all the selling, then I'm saying no to growing the business. And so it's understanding that dynamic.
That's totally true. Now, with social media in the selling mix these days, because, before it was just the phone, the fax machine, and walking door to door kind of a thing. Does that make it more challenging or easier, do you think?
To what?
Selling, and growing a sales team that kind of does all that stuff for you.
I would say much more effective.
Awesome.
And we leverage LinkedIn, different social media platforms. Basic in any sales environment, it would be retargeting on social media. So after they come and visit the website or have a conversation with you, they think they might be done talking to you, but we're not leaving them alone for a little while as we follow them around and continue to feed them our message. I think social media is a great way to attract and build awareness and bring in net new customers. I think it is a fantastic tool to nurture existing prospects and or even existing customers in a way that is very cost effective and that amplifies the original marketing channel that brought them in the first place.
Totally. I think too, for me and other owners, it's like they sort of feel like for other people to be in their social media or represent them, in social media, answering questions and all that stuff, I think they feel somewhat nervous on that.
Yeah. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you put yourself out there and it can kind of come back to bite you. And, but generally speaking, I've not found that to be the case.
Awesome.
I just go for it. And, sometimes you get questions or feedback or comments or whatever. And, but it's just real. I mean, no one believes the 1,000 5 out of 5 stars reviews anyway. People just want to know you're real and that most people are having a great experience and that you're a good solution. And I think it's just okay that sometimes it's not all perfect.
Totally. And I think people are realistic that, as a business owner, you can't be everywhere at once all the time. So you have a team that support you.
Yep. Absolutely.
Now, I love your approach on, you view employees as leaders and team members. I mean, some people think employees as just contractors. And I think that's a different mindset. Do you know what I mean? On having a vendor, so to speak, versus, a leader and a team member that helps you grow your business. Was it always like that for you at the beginning, or has that sort of changed as you moved along?
I think it has always been that way to a degree. I think that's a little bit more my nature.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know that it's the best or the only way, right? I think it's okay to have businesses that are more transactional, some that invest a lot more in relationships. As long as we're just true to ourselves and own it and not say we're one thing but then we're really something different. I think as long as it's owned, it's okay. And, ultimately the reason why I started my own business, was I was tired of the artificial ceilings that were put on me. And, the race to mediocrity of, well, it doesn't really benefit me to bring my 10 out of 10 A performance every day. And so you kind of find yourself starting to become, someone that I didn't want to be. And so when I started the organization, it was just very important to me that environment existed.
Nice.
For everyone else. Mm-hmm. Is that what I feel if I was at that point in my career in their position, is this something I could feel excited about? And everyone values different things, but trying to stay true to what got me to start the company in the first place. And really, we kind of attract people that feel that way. Awesome. We've painstakingly put a lot of time and effort into comp and growth plans that people have a lot of control over. And we kind of lay it out there for them, and then they can be as aggressive as they want and getting after it, or, take it a little easier. That's really up to them as long as they're meeting expectations.
So do you have like policies and procedures and stuff in place that empower your team members versus, micromanaging, so to speak?
Yeah. I mean, our HR policy our stated policy is the adult policy. Act like an adult, we'll treat you like an adult.
Fair enough.
Here's how your comp plan works. These are our core values. We expect you to do these things. And as long as you have the autonomy to do it the way that you feel like is best, and you have the flexibility. You don't need to ask permission to go to a doctor's appointment. Like, just let someone know.
Yeah.
Right? You need to work from home for a day, or it's like, look, just act like an adult and perform, and we'll treat you like one.
Yeah.
And let's keep it that way. And I've actually gotten a lot of pressure from peers in the entrepreneurial world that doesn't scale. And I'm like,
Interesting.
We're going to I'm sure we'll run into some challenges from time to time. And I'm just okay with that. I think that's just a part of, you give people autonomy, and some do take advantage of it, and we'll address that when it happens.
And it sounds like you're giving your team members that space to grow. I know that, you're a believer in turning employees into leaders, that you're giving them an earning potential of 6 figures. I mean, not many people do that. Can you kind of speak about that a little bit?
Absolutely. And my perspective on that has changed a little bit. The first aspect is what I already mentioned around comp plans and how people grow and bonus and increase their salary and position. And that's how they financially work towards that. One of the things that I do a little bit differently is I've actually put together an optional personal and leadership development course.
Oh, okay.
That I teach at 7 a.m. on Monday mornings. It's optional. It's actually $500 to enroll for employees.
Oh, wow.
And it's a 10-week course. They have to give a 30-day notice to be able to miss a class. You can't just can't miss an assignment. You can't be late. You can't flake. Otherwise, you lose your $500. And then you get kicked out of the class. But for those that complete the class and graduate, they actually get their $500 back plus a $500 bonus. And in that process, it's actually less work-specific skills, and it's more how to build meaningful habits in our lives, how to change the world by changing ourselves, and how to have a vision of an understanding of where we're at and where we're going, so that people just have a better understanding of who they are and how to be successful in life. And it's the favorite thing I do.
Love it.
At Disruptive is teaching that course and seeing how it improves and changes my life, and how that happens for other people as well.
I love that. So do you find that giving your employees opportunities for growth, not only within the actual industry and the role, but with those kinds of things, that it creates more growth for your own business? It kind of extends that, just the, helping the employee.
Yeah, 100%. It's to me, it feels like the right thing to do. And so I need to be true to myself and do what feels right. The other thing is the benefits totally and profusely bleed into the business, right? Because now I've got leaders that have good daily habits and come in more emotionally capable of handling the challenges of the day. And so it's like all sorts of benefits personally and professionally. And I'm glad that occurs at the business level. I actually think I'd do it even if it didn't spill over into the business level.
I love it. Yeah. And I think it also creates that team atmosphere where people love, working where they're at. I mean, that's huge. If you like, the drudgery of going to work every day, then you're not going to get that kind of productivity and results.
Yeah.
You know what, for other entrepreneurs that are listening and that have some team members, I mean, I know for myself, we've got, I think 15 of us now. And I don't know if I should have asked this before actually, are your employees remote, or are they also like in-house in an office? Like, are they physically with you, or are they kind of everywhere?
We have just a couple of remote employees.
Oh, okay.
Everyone is here physically. And I am a believer I'd rather work with the right people in the wrong location, but I do prefer to have us together as much as possible. I think the culture is a little easier to manage and maintain when we're together. And it's possible to do it, with the right people remotely. It works as well. So we're open to that, but it's not, we don't have to do it.
Everyone's a little bit different. So what tips would you give entrepreneurs out there to help grow a team to spur that business growth and make more of an impact?
There's basically two ways to scale. One of them is to hire experienced people that can come in and make a more immediate impact, which is generally going to be quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Or to develop and nurture the talent. And what I've found is that sustainable growth requires both. And the companies, where we've found a lot of our growth and scale is in the development of getting less experienced people up to performing at a fantastic level and really reducing the amount of time that it takes to get them there.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way to predictably scale, because there's only so many people with the right skill set on the market at any given time.
That's
and
true.
So it's a little less predictable. So when we kind of can take those as they come and are available, and then have a consistent flow of a career path that allows people to develop into those roles, I really think that there's value and benefit to doing both, which is why I actually love I teach like the marketing classes at local universities once a semester.
Awesome.
And it just kind of keeps those pipelines and relationships active.
That's true.
And it's fun, and it creates good opportunities.
I love that. And it's funny how there's that, like you said, the balance between, hiring people that are already experts in that and you're paying a little bit more versus kind of nurturing. I have the exact same things. There's a couple of roles that I'm like, okay, they need that specific talent or whatever it is. Yeah. But then like nurturing and creating those relationships and teaching them new things and kind of growing with you. Yes, it takes time and sometimes I don't always have it, but it does pay off. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And both are fun. I think if relying on too much of one or the other comes with its challenges. And I think doing both is what allows for some consistency.
I love that. That's a great takeaway, especially for people growing teams. Sometimes people don't even know where to start, right? Or like how to hire, how to grow their team, what they should do, and just how to be cohesive and together to spur the business along. Yeah. Awesome. Now, of course, with disrupting advertising, can you kind of share what your team does and how you can help entrepreneurs?
Yeah, simplistically, businesses typically lack the bandwidth or the expertise, or sometimes both, to grow their business leveraging Google and Facebook properly.
Yeah.
And so that's where we come in. We're more cost effective than trying to scale that team internally. We're specialists, so we're very good at what we do. So it becomes a more cost-effective way to amplify the marketing team's abilities and effectiveness. And that's what people come to us for. We have a team and a software that we can go in and help people just get dramatically more results out of the same amount of budget when we first start, and then help them grow and scale from there.
Awesome. And how can people find you and connect with you?
Yeah, simplest way is I would love to personally connect. So either on Twitter at Jake Baadsgaard or on LinkedIn. There's 4 A's in Baadsgaard. I promise you'll find me. It's easy. And then, if you're interested, we actually do have a software where we provide a free audit and consultation on any campaigns that you're currently running on Google, cool. Facebook, or Instagram. And our team would be glad to do that for free, give you a beautiful deliverable and some recommendations, even if we're not the right fit. Right. 80 to 85% of the businesses that reach out to us, we say, hey, we're not a good fit. Here's what you really need to be doing. Yeah. And we can point you in the right direction. And if we are a good fit, we'll definitely tell you that too.
That sounds awesome. Well, congratulations on your success. And I know you'll kick some more entrepreneurial butt down the road.
Thanks.
Awesome. So this week's 50-minute cruise to move the needle in your business has come to an end. So thanks a lot, Jacob. You've given us some really great insight on growing a team, different ways to look at it, so that we, can grow just like you have. So if you are looking to achieve faster growth through content marketing and sales funnels, look no further than smoothbusinessgrowth.com. Have a profitable and productive week, folks, and may the wins always be at your back.